Good evening. I call to order the January 8, 2018 special public meeting of the Cincinnati Board of Education. We welcome everyone as in attendance to please silence your cell phones and electronic devices. We've got a long agenda, several meetings tonight. I'm so excited to have you here. Please join me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Just for your knowledge, we are in a special public meeting where we are actually going to hear information about a tax budget presented by our treasurer, Jennifer Wagner. At the conclusion of this special public meeting, we will move into our organizational meeting. Ms. Wagner, please call the roll.
Ms. Bolton.
Present.
Ms. Jones.
Here.
Mr. Morosky.
Present.
Mr. Timmons.
Here.
Thank you.
So good evening, board members and members of the public. This will be a very short presentation, 5 minutes or less. Just for the interest of the new board members and our public, that they annually, every school district is required to adopt a tax budget by the 15th of the month of January, because we have a fiscal year end in June. It's dictated by Ohio Revised Code 5705 something, I can't remember the other details. And then we have to submit it to our county budget commission. They describe the format that you have in front of you, and the purpose of the tax budget is for them to make sure that we're bringing in enough tax revenues to pay for our debt obligations. So on the calculations, they take our forecasted revenue, and because we're on a fiscal year end in June 30, we convert it to a calendar year basis. That's how property taxes are collected. So we're comparing apples to apples. Then we ensure that our annual tax revenue on a calendar year basis covers our debt payments for both our voted debt and our unvoted debt. And I just want to say the unvoted debt is not a requirement of Ohio Revised Code, but we do that for transparency purposes. So the first couple pages you're going to be looking at are the voted debt. That was for the facility master plan. We took on the debt to help rebuild all of our schools. And then the unvoted debt was the COPS issues and that we didn't need taxpayers to do. So on the format, on pages 5 and 6, you'll see that our general fund revenues are converted to a calendar basis, and then it shows you on the voted debt portions on page 7 and 8, the calculated balances of how much we owe on the debt, and what those principal and interest payments are on a calendar and a fiscal year basis. And then it shows you that the math, that our revenues are beyond and greater, our tax revenues are greater than the voted tax principal and interest for fiscal year 19, or calendar year 18 and 19. And then the next 2 pages that are, once again, not required, but because we are committed to fiscal transparency, we include our unvoted debt. Those are on pages 9 and 10 of the tax budget. Same information, the summary of the debt payments, what their sources of income are, so you can see that city-county stadium payments are covering those COPS issues that helped us cover the redevelopment of the buildings that were not covered by the facility master plan, excuse me. And then we use the general fund for about $15 million a year to supplement those payments. And so you can see that on the calendar year revenue, the monies that come in from the city and county agreements and the general fund transfer cover those debt payments, and so we are good to go. When you and the very last page of the document shows you just a summary of all of our debt, both the voted, unvoted, and the fiscal and calendar reviews for your review. Like I said, this is a format that the Ohio County Auditor defines for us. We just fill in the blanks and then report it. So we have to vote on it on January 8th, the first meeting of the board meeting in January, so we can file it with the county auditor tomorrow, and so that they can make the county budget commission meeting on the 15th. And so at the end of tonight, I'll be asking all of you to sign a document so we can ship it off tomorrow. So can I answer any questions? Very short and sweet. Okay. And I don't know if there was any members of the public that wanted to speak about the tax budget. This is a hearing of the public as well, so. Sign up to speak?
No, we have no speaking of the public this evening.
Okay. Well, then that concludes my
Are
presentation.
there any questions from board members or comments? Having no other business come before the board, I declare the meeting adjourned. I call to order the January 8th meeting of the Board of Education. Again, I welcome you all. We are in a totally different set of meetings. Please join me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mrs. Wagner, please call the roll.
Once again, I can only roll call those that have already been confirmed by oath. So, Ms. Bolton?
Here.
Present.
Mr. Timmons?
Here.
Yes. Just one moment. No, that's not it. I don't have my script. Per Board Bylaw 0151 and Ohio Revised Code 3313.14, as outgoing president, I will begin the meeting as President Pro Tem until election of a president takes place further down the agenda. Per Board Bylaw 0152, Officers and Revised Code, we now prepare for the oath of office. Mrs. Wagner, elected board members, and family members, please prepare for the oath of office. We have 4 members taking the oath of office this evening. Our first will be Ms. Melanie Bates, who will be sworn in by Ms. Catherine Ingram, State Representative. Yes, please, anyone who's joining Ms. Bates, please take your time, come down, and here they come. Join in the swearing in with Ms. Bates.
Where's
Lauren?
You can stand right in front of her. The camera will get you perfect. Yeah, both of them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just closer to the table. Georgie.
Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Melanie Bates,
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and that I will faithfully honestly and impartially
discharge the duties of a board member
of the Board of Education
of the
Cincinnati City School District
of the Cincinnati City School District
of Cincinnati, Ohio,
of Cincinnati, Ohio,
during my continuance in office.
during my continuance in office.
So help me God.
So help me God. Thank you.
Our next board member to prepare for the oath of office will be Mr. Ryan Messer, along with his family and friends. He will be sworn in by Councilman David Mann. Lauren's got it. Thank you. I just think they should be over here.
You participated, so.
Your photo.
Ryan, are you ready? What you do is far more important than anything that's done at City Hall. It's about our children. So thank you for being willing to take on this responsibility. Repeat after me. I, Ryan Messer, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge the duties of a board member of the Board of Education of the Cincinnati School District of Cincinnati, Ohio, during my continuance in office. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mr. Messer.
Thank you.
Our next board member to prepare for the oath of office is Mr. Mike Morosky, his family and friends. Please join us. He will be sworn in by his lovely wife, Miss Katie Morosky.
I, Mike Morosky, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
That I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio.
and that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
And that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
discharge the duties of a board member of the Board of Education
discharge the duties of a board member of the Board of Education
of the Cincinnati School District
of the Cincinnati School District
of the City of Cincinnati, Ohio, during my continuance in office.
of the City of Cincinnati, Ohio, during my continuance in office.
Our final board member to be sworn in to receive the oath of office is none other than myself, Erica Copeland Dansby. So if my friends and sorors and family would join me, I would greatly appreciate it.
Is it over?
I, Erica Copeland Dansby, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge the duties of a board member of the Board of Education of the Cincinnati City School District of the City of the Cincinnati of Ohio during my continuance in office. Congratulations. Thank you. All right. Well, congratulations. Miss Wagner, where'd you go? Please call the roll.
Oh, there you go.
I got this, Miss Bates.
Mrs. Bates.
Aye.
Ms. Bolton. Ms. Jones. Mr. Messer.
Present.
Mr. Roski.
Present.
Mr. Timmons.
Here.
Copeland Dansby.
I am present. Introducing your 2018 Cincinnati Board of Education. Thank you so much. And so I want to give this special opportunity for my colleagues, if they desire, to say a couple words, if they'd like. And I'll start with Ms. Bates.
Yes. Wow, I'm really impressed by the number of people who came here tonight. Thank you so much for coming out on this cold, icy, weather to come and support all of us. And by supporting us, you're supporting the children in our district. That's ultimately who we are all here to advocate for. So I really appreciate that. I appreciate the opportunity to serve once again as, I guess you could call me, we'll use a nice word, the veteran board member. And I hope to continue to serve you in a way that you're proud of, and thank you again.
Thank you, Ms. Bates. Mr. Messer.
Good evening, everyone. As I said earlier, it was about a year ago that I had my first meeting to begin the journey that got me in the seat today. And I look across the room and see so many faces that were part of that race or other races that were happening last year. And it just was very inspiring to be a part of that process. After that election, it was very humbling to be able to have this opportunity to serve. And as I told my mother, we started this campaign with 3 babies, and now we have 35,003 babies. And I feel personally responsible to doing whatever I can to make sure that those children are kept in the forefront of all of our minds. And as former mayor, former vice mayor, and current councilman David Mann said, I do believe this is important work, and I am so honored to have the opportunity to do it. Thank you.
Nice. Mr. Morosky.
Thank you, Ms. Copeland-Dansby. For my 16-year professional career and on the campaign trail, I've talked a lot about the importance of keeping kids at the center of the decision-making process when it comes to educational decisions. I've led my entire career with kids based on that maxim, and I fully intend to govern that way. And I just want to take a moment to thank everybody that's out there and in the city that had faith in my leadership on this board to give me the extreme honor of sitting here. With special thanks, of course, to my mom and dad, Lawana and Dan Morosky, my sister Diana, who couldn't be there tonight, my brother Mike, my other sister Jayla, who was my campaign manager extraordinaire, and my lovely, beautiful, talented wife Katie, who you can all be assured I can't do a terrible job because my wife gave me the oath of office. So I'm held to a pretty high standard. So I would just like to wrap up by saying I very much look forward to working with all of the teachers, the district administration, and my 6 new colleagues and the students on continuing to ensure that Cincinnati Public Schools is a district that everybody wants to be a part of and a district that continues to put kids first. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I want to first start off by thanking the public for your trusting me and re-electing me for my second term. I also want to thank the people who are sitting on the left and the right of me, my board colleagues, for I do believe that we all know how important our role is, and we do take our role extremely seriously. I also want to thank the administration who's seated here at the table and who are present, for it is you all who do the amazing work for our 36,000 students. And so I am very pleased and very proud to sit before you. I appreciate those in my family, my friends, and my sorors who joined me here this evening, and a special shout out to my mom who's in the audience who didn't come down, and just to shout her out. So our intention moving forward in the next 4 years from my seat is to continue the awesome work that we've done over the past 4. As you all know, our student achievement is incredibly on the rise, as is our desire from our community to be involved with all the decisions that we make here at this table. And so it is my intent to continue the work towards equity, towards including the voice of our community, and of course, ensuring the best, the absolute best for every child in every single school. Thank you. We will now move to the part of our agenda where we will take nominations for officers. I need a motion to elect a board president for year 2018. Nominations are now in order for president. Are there any nominations? Mr. Timmons.
I'd like to nominate Carolyn Jones.
Thank you. Are there any other further nominations?
Yes.
Yes.
I'd like to nominate Ryan Messer.
Thank you. Are there further nominations? We have a nomination for Ms. Carolyn Jones as 2018 president. We have a nomination for Mr. Ryan Messer as 2018 president. As many are in favor for Ms. Jones being nominated for president, say aye. 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 That's the way the script reads. Show of hands, aye. So we have 4. It looks like the ayes have it, and Ms. Jones is elected president. That's simple. Sorry. You have a question? Go.
I believe we have to raise our hands as well, just
For the
matter
notes.
of record.
No worries. For the matter of the record, all in favor for Mr. Ryan Messer, please show by stating aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. The ayes have it. Carolyn Jones is elected president. Thank you. Treasurer Wagner, please administer the oath of office to the 2018 president.
Thank you. My family gets to come.
Yes, sir.
I'd also like to invite my family down.
Oh, her family's also invited down. Please come down if you're here with Ms. Jones. Thank you.
I, Carolyn Jones, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
and that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
discharge the duties of President of the Board of Education
discharge the duties of President of the Board of Education
of the Cincinnati City School District
of the Cincinnati City School District
of the City of Cincinnati, Ohio,
of the,
during my continuance in office.
that's okay, of the City of Cincinnati, Ohio, during my continuance in office.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Madam President.
Thank you.
Oh, not there? Hey, give me a minute to make my remarks.
Okay.
Got your script? This feels weird.
Uh-oh, I think Daddy's in charge. At this time, we'd like our outgoing president, to have a few remarks, please.
Well, good. Thank you so much. It feels a little strange sitting over here, but I think we can make this comfortable. I, again, appreciate my colleagues for the amazing work that I think we've been able to accomplish over the past 4 years as I've been a board member, and especially the last 2 as the leader of this board. I am in awe of each of you and the work that we've been able to do on behalf of our students, our families, and our community. And I also appreciate all of you who are sitting here today, and many who are not, for constantly and consistently raising your voice, raising your hand, and keeping us on task as board members and doing the best for our students and our families. I encourage our new board president to get a good night's sleep, because she's in for a long road, long haul, and there's nothing more pleasurable than being able to serve our community. And so I appreciate the support over the past several years, and I welcome you, Ms. Jones.
Thank you. I also would like to offer a few words, and I appreciate your patience with me because I'm pretty nervous, but I know it'll be okay. As we enter this new year, I want to congratulate and welcome our newest board members, Mr. Morosky and Mr. Messer, who have joined us at the table as elected public servants, representing our community's interest in our children. And congratulations to Mrs. Bates and Mrs. Copeland Dansby on their success as board incumbents, willing and ready to continue the wonderful work of the board and district. Although the face of the board has changed, our charge in governance and oversight of the district continues to be the most important aspect of our work on behalf of the broader community. Each person sitting around this table brings something uniquely invaluable to the work we do as a collective and unified body. This is of great importance, and this evening, the board has entrusted me with the very important role of leadership, responsible for facilitating processes that move the district forward to achieve its goals. As president of the board, I have opportunity and responsibility to ensure that everyone's opinions and ideas are respected and valued, ensuring that the driving force behind board decisions incorporate all perspectives, including those from the broader community. While I am pleased to be elected as board president, this is not all just about me. Rather, it is about achieving balance that enable us to be unified around a common purpose. I will rely on the capability and abilities of this group to support its work individually and collectively. Leadership means different things to different people. It's unique to everyone. I see my job as president to enhance the board's ability and authority in providing effective and efficient oversight, accountability, and responsibility to the public around the district's legal mandates, and to also be fully transparent around district business, engaged and responsive to its community partners, families, students, and staff. It's a role that I accept quite seriously and selflessly. Having had opportunities to serve on a variety of boards and advisory committees and various strategic initiatives at local and state and national levels, I understand the level of commitment that's required. My personal capabilities outside of my work life has been grounded in me because of the value that I place in my personal interactions and relationships with people. I have spent many years volunteering in the community. I haven't done as much of that lately because my focus is now on the board work. But when I was involved in the community and what I did, what my passion was teaching girls softball. I was a USSSA travel softball player, pretty good, some would say, some might not say that. Chris, you have to talk to, Chris Nelms. But I used that opportunity to work with girls who would not otherwise have the opportunity to participate. And I used that sport to teach them life skills and to build character. I have worked with kids for the best part of 40 years. But in this role, I know that I have to be a pragmatic thinker, reflective and diplomatic in my approach to all situations. I hope to bring my strong sense of purpose and focus, high level of honesty, personal and professional integrity, and respect for all different perspectives. So in year 2018, as your board president, I commit to always being prepared, staying fully engaged, accessible, and accountable. I am honored to be your face of the board. To my colleagues around the table, you've entrusted me with a huge responsibility, and I promise to approach it with the utmost respect and professionalism. This board, the district, and our community will receive no less than 100% effort from me as your board president. I thank you for the opportunity to work more closely with you individually and collectively. I thank Superintendent Mitchell and our Chief Financial Officer, Ms. Wagner, for the broad vision, and I look forward to working more closely with them as well in a productive year. I'm honored to lead the Cincinnati School Board this year. I'm looking forward to the opportunity to work with the superintendent and administration as we continue to increase enrollment, expand preschool opportunities, enhance neighborhood schools, and effectively steward the community's investment in public education. And finally, I owe everything about me to the God above and to my family for the unwavering support and love that they show me, and the belief that their mom and their kin can change the world. So thank you very much.
Nice.
Okay, so we are now at the point in the agenda where we will accept nominations for the election of a vice president. Nominations, at this time, nominations are open.
I'll nominate Erica Copeland Dansby.
Erica Copeland Dansby has been nominated. Are there any other nominations?
I nominate Eve Bolton.
Eve Bolton has been nominated. Are there any other nominations? If no further nominations, nominations are now closed. Erica Copeland Dansby and Eve Bolton have been nominated. As many as are in favor of Erica Copeland Dansby being nominated for president, say aye with a vice president. Told you. Vice President, say aye with a raised hand.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? I'm sorry, the ayes have it, and Erica Copeland Dansby, I know, is elected. Oh, I'm sorry, I have to do the second round.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Take your time.
All in favor of Eve Bolton as vice president, please say aye with a raise of hand.
Aye.
The ayes have it, and so we have our new vice president, Erica Copeland Dansby. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Treasurer Wagner, please administer the oath of office to the 2018 vice president.
I, Erica Copeland Dansby, do solemnly swear
That I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio.
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
And I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
and that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
discharge the duties of Vice President of the Board of Education
discharge the duties of Vice President of the Board of Education
of the Cincinnati City School District
of the Cincinnati City School District
of the City of Cincinnati, Ohio,
of the City of Cincinnati, Ohio,
during my continuance in office.
during my continuance in office.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Mrs. Copeland Dansby, when you're seated, please feel free to offer a few comments.
First, Melanie's chair is too low. Okay, so we're in a different chair this time around. Hello. I won't take up too much time, as I appreciate your patience with all the things that are required by law that this board has to include in its organizational meeting. I will just mention, though, that I am looking mostly forward to the opportunity to move forward. In my training in leadership, someone once said to me, one of the true marks of a great leader is bringing others along in leadership. And so I appreciate the opportunity to work with this board and to help support each of my colleagues to use their skills and their talents and their heart's desire as we support children. So again, congratulations, Ms. Jones, President Jones. I also want a public opportunity to welcome our newest board members, Mr. Ryan Messer and Mr. Mike Morosky. And so I'm very glad that both of you are here. And of course, my continued work with Ms. Bates, who is, how does she call herself, the historian and that? And so
The institutional knowledge.
the institutional knowledge. And so we're happy about that. Our other newest member, Mr. Timmons, and I appreciate your work and your support and your eagerness to work directly with our students. That says a lot. And Ms. Bolton, of course, who I have the greatest amount of respect for, who keeps me on my toes and who works collaboratively with each of us, and I appreciate that. So where are we going in the new year? Along with our colleagues, I'm looking forward to ensuring, again, that all of our students are prepared and are moving towards great opportunity and academic achievement. Our focus on the growing enrollment and the rigor in every single one of our schools, including and importantly, our neighborhood schools. Our increasing need and desire to support community engagement and involvement. And of course, continuing to partner with the many partners that the district has. We can't do hardly any of our work without the support of our community partners. So I've been working in education for more than 25 years, probably closer to 30, specifically on the problem of how to ensure that all students receive an outgoing education. This isn't just my personal passion or my professional passion, but I am personally connected to ensuring that each of our children receive equitable education. As a parent, a teacher, a graduate, I deeply believe that every child in every neighborhood deserves an outstanding neighborhood school. And so I appreciate in advance the hard work that we have to do moving these initiatives forward in the new year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Copeland Dansby. Okay, per board bylaw 0155, committees and board protocol, committee assignments were requested by all board members at the end of last year. Now at the organizational meeting, the newly elected president, I, will recommend committee structures and member assignments for board approval as soon as I find it. Okay, thank you.
You want to mention that?
I am.
I am.
I'm sorry.
You want to mention that we still have work to do here.
Okay.
But they're
All right.
not more than 3.
Okay, so the newly assigned committee structure is Finance Committee. That will include Melanie Bates, Erica Copeland Dansby, Ryan Messer. Policy Committee assignments, E. Bolton, Melanie Bates, Mike Morosky. Student Achievement Committee, E. Bolton, Mr. Morosky, Lannis Timmons. And there will be some work done on a potential additional committee, which is going to be named Board, District, and Community Strategic Planning Committee. And those assignments have not been finalized yet because we still have some work to do, but I will name the 3 people that we have here for now, and that is E. Bolton, Mrs. Copeland Dansby, Ryan Messer, Mike Morosky. Okay. All right. I need a motion to approve the 2018 Board of Education organization appointments.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Ms. Wagner, please call the roll.
Mrs. Bates?
Aye.
Ms. Bolton?
Aye.
Ms. Jones? I'm
Aye.
sorry. Mr. Messer?
Aye.
Mr. Morosky?
Aye.
Mr. Timmons?
Aye.
Mrs. Copeland Dansby?
Where'd you go? Okay. Motion approved. So we have a resolution in front of us to approve the 2018 organizational meeting business items. And it is a resolution.
Oh, hold on, give me a minute.
Oh, I have to read the assignments?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Okay. These are the 2018 board organizational appointments. Representing the district on the Cincinnati Recreation Commission, we have Melanie Bates. With the Ohio School Boards Association appointments, Board of Trustees for the Southwest Region Executive Committee, Melanie Bates. Capital Conference Planning Committee, E. Bolton. Diversity and Inclusion Committee, Carolyn Jones. Federal Relations Network First Congressional District, E. Bolton. Legislative Liaison, Mike Morosky, Erica Copeland Dansby. The Urban School District Advisory Network, E. Bolton, Erica Copeland Dansby. Activities Beyond the Classroom, Copeland Dansby, Messer, and Timmons. Business Advisory Council, Bolton and Messer. Council of the Great City Schools, Bates, Copeland Dansby. Preschool Expansion Partnership Committee.
Just Copeland Dansby for Council of Great City Schools.
Okay, that's what it says on here.
Sorry.
Okay. So the Council of Great City Schools is Erica Copeland Dansby. Preschool Expansion Partnership Committee, Erica Copeland Dansby, Jones, and Messer. Do I have to do another vote?
No.
Okay. Thank you. So we need to move on to the resolutions at hand. A resolution to approve 2018 organizational meeting business items. Do we have a copy? I don't have a copy of that. Is that a voice vote? Okay. Mrs. Copeland Dansby, I'm going to ask you to present that, please.
I'm happy to present a resolution to approve the 2018 organizational meeting business items. I present it as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion or comments?
All in favor?
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye? Okay. Ayes have it, motion approved. Ms. Wagner, please call the roll.
We just voted.
Does this require a voice vote or roll call vote?
Roll call vote. Sorry.
Okay.
Roll call.
All right. Ms. Wagner, please call the roll.
Mrs. Bates?
Aye.
Ms. Bolton?
Aye.
Mr. Messer? Aye. Mr. Morosky?
Aye.
Mr. Timmons?
Aye.
Mrs. Copeland Dansby?
Aye.
President Jones?
Aye. Having no other business to come before the board, I declare the meeting adjourned. And I like that. Okay. So we're going to take a quick 5-minute break so that board can stretch their legs, and for anybody who wants to stay, you are welcome to stay. But thank you for those of you who have to leave. Got too many papers over here.
You'll get it. Don't worry about it. Turn your microphone off.
Carolyn, what are we going to do now? Okay, what are we discussing? That's what I mean.
3, 4, 5.
No, neither do we.
I just saw.
Neither do we.
Wait, no, yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I call to order the January 8th, 2018 business meeting of the Cincinnati Board of Education. We welcome everyone and request everyone in the audience to please silence your cell phones and electronic devices. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mrs. Wagner, please call the roll. Up. Mrs. Wagner. Where'd you go? Okay.
Ms. Bolton? Mr. Messer?
Here?
Mr. Morosky?
Present.
Mr. Timmons?
Here.
Mrs. Copeland Dansby?
Here.
President Jones?
Here. I need a motion to approve the minutes from the special meeting, December 18, 2017, and the regular board meeting, December 18, 2017.
So moved.
Is there a second? Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Say an aye, I'm sorry. We know the routine though, right? Any opposed? The minutes are approved as presented. Mrs. Bates, as Chair of the Finance Committee, please present the December 19, 2017 Finance Committee meeting report.
Sure, let me grab it. Sure. Yes, I would like to point out, because I believe this is in the treasurer's report tonight for approval, isn't it, Ms. Wagner? The district health insurance recommendation that was brought to the Finance Committee. And we are moving from Sun Life to Anthem at the recommendation of the treasurer, and that's coming before you for a vote within Ms. Wagner's report. We'll hear a little bit later on during the presentation from Barb Matai-Smith about this is really pretty cool, the reconciliation specialist. And our audit committee recommended to finance that we request the administration to consider hiring a person who will monitor the enrollment. On? Oh, sorry, who will monitor the enrollment of charter schools to see if we can have a savings, because we did not have confirmation of enrollment that we believed was completely accurate from the charter schools. And having said that, that had taken place, and there not only is that person paying for, I believe it's a female, her salary, but there is another accumulated savings of over $1 million because of this audit. So many thanks to our audit committee for making this a priority for the board to address. And I present this report, these minutes, to the board as printed for acceptance. Are there any questions?
Are there any questions regarding the Finance Committee meeting report? Thank you. Ms. Bates, on behalf of the Audit Committee, please present the December 19th Audit Committee meeting report.
I was not able to attend because I had another committee meeting that day, and so either you or Ms. Bolton attended.
Would you present that for us?
Let me locate it. Yes.
No.
And everyone received copies of this. We had an update regarding Medicaid audit report and some of the other audits that have been taking place. As the Chair of Finance, Ms. Bates, noted, we also had a very extensive presentation regarding the reconciliation and charter dollars. And again, to her point, it's something that was recommended, this additional staff and effort was recommended by our Community Audit Committee. Appreciate it. We had our internal auditor report regarding her mid-year evaluation, and also had some good news regarding some of the other audits that are taking place with the district. And then also there was a significant review of the Clark Schaefer Hackett audit of the Preschool Promise, or CPP, audit report. And our audit committee, our community audit committee, remains very interested and has been requesting as many specifics as possible. And I know that they were very complimentary as well during the committee meeting regarding our treasurer's efforts to make sure that those dispersed funds are done so in keeping with the law and our policies, and know that they've all been trying to build the plane while it's been in the air, but at the heart of it is the whole dispersal of funds for proper purpose, proper public purpose. So I submit report, and again, we thank folks. The other thing is we did have at least an informal welcoming of some of the new members who will then officially, to your point at the meeting, take their place in this coming meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Bolton. Any questions about the audit committee report? Thank you. I would like to present the meeting reports for the December 20th Ad Hoc Board Priorities Committee. Basically, this was a discussion focused on two main points. The first being whether we should consider a recommendation for having the board ad hoc priorities meeting added to our committee organizational chart as a standing committee. That was the first point. And the second point of discussion was around the question of whether we should be adding again the Community Partnership and Public Engagement Committee. We had a healthy discussion since then about those two committees, and we've made some changes as a result of that discussion, but we're still working on finalizing, for example, the community engagement. We believe that it's very important to get the community involved up front, and we will come back with recommendations around that committee at a later time. So we need a voice vote to accept the committee reports as written. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. The minutes are approved. So this evening's presentation will be an update on the charter school enrollment process. I'm going to turn it over to our superintendent to introduce our speaker.
Thank you. I think it was maybe a month or so ago, the board asked for an update on charter school enrollment. And I believe that the Finance Committee as well as the Audit Committee has been able to hear some information that would be beneficial for the entire board to hear. So Bart Matei-Smith, our Director for Performance and Accountability, has a very short presentation just to give you up-to-date information about charter school enrollment. Thank you.
Of time understanding about the charter school students, where they are, where they come from, and the reconciliation process. We have approximately 7,000 full-time equivalent students in 41 different charter schools. However, those 41 schools, 6 schools serve over 50% of the charter school students. And if we look at 90% of our students, they're in 17 schools. So that's telling you that while we have 41 different charter schools we deal with, the vast majority of our students are just in 17. There are 10 e-schools that we have students enrolled in. However, in two of those schools, ECOT and Ohio Virtual serve 9% of them. Okay, so basically there's 2 e-schools that we deal with and 17 17 total schools that house most of our resident students. If we look at enrollment over the last 5 years, you can see that the actual enrollment in charter schools has been declining, while the enrollment in CPS schools has been increasing. So we've been bringing some students back to our district schools. Both the charter and the district numbers are high right now. That's not unusual in the middle of the year. I expect the charter school numbers to be lower again when we get to the end of the year. We'll probably see a slight drop in the district numbers as well as we work through all of the reporting and as some kids leave and move on to other districts. Each charter school is responsible for maintaining enrollment and student records for the students they serve. CPS is responsible to review and verify that those numbers are correct, that the school where the student is enrolled is correct, and that the child is entitled to attend school in the district. I wanted to take a minute to talk to you about when a child is entitled to attend school, because that's the real key. All right, sometimes that means they're not actually living here in the district, but their parents are from the district. Okay, so the child has to be between the ages of 5 and 22. The parent or guardian resides in the district, or the child is a child of military personnel who are deployed and are living within the district with someone else. They're a grandchild of a grandparent with custody. Sometimes when a court tells us, we're responsible. If we don't agree with that, we can appeal to the court to change their ruling. But if the court says so, until the ruling is changed, we are the district responsible. If a family is homeless and they are taking up some kind of residence in the districts, whether that's in a car or a shelter, they're eligible to attend in our district. If a family is moving into the district, they're building a home or they've purchased a home and they'll be moving into that home after the school starts, we can admit them as entitled. And then if we have students in a shelter for domestic violence with their parent, they're also eligible to attend. This is the vast majority of our students. There are other nuances. There are lots of other nuances that play into this. I think Dan Hoy would tell you that this is one of the more complicated and challenging aspects of education law, is where the child is entitled to reside, to attend, but these are the main ones we deal with. So in order to verify that the students are entitled, there are a number of things we review. We review their address, the date of birth, the guardian, the state student ID, which is state-issued unique ID each student in a public school has. We also review the school that is claiming to educate them, if that is the school that we know they're at, and their enrollment dates. When we complete this review process, we are allowed to flag certain charter school records. Some of those flags are strictly data quality issues. Perhaps the address that the charter school is reporting the student at is not the same as the address in our records. Or the student birth date does not match our records. Or perhaps we have a different name for the guardian. All of those are data quality issues. We can challenge and ask for more clarification on that. They will not stop funding for the charter school. There are 2 funding issues. The one is an incorrect state student ID, SSID, because if the student has the wrong ID at that school, someone else could be claiming them at another school. And if we know this address is not located within CPS boundaries, we can challenge both of those. In addition, the state of Ohio does other record checks which impact funding for charter schools. They look for overlapping enrollment dates. So during the period that enrollment is overlapping, no district received funds for those students. And they look for students who are enrolled in a state voucher program. And if they're concurrently enrolled in both programs, they will not receive funds for either program. Currently, as of the end of December, we had a total of 451 flags on students. 201 of those were those data quality that did not impact funding. The remaining about 250 were ones that did impact funding. That process has improved immensely with one person dedicated to actually reviewing those records on a daily basis. So at the end of this school year, we are estimated to transfer to charter schools approximately $51.63 million. Our current flags have stopped the funding flow for $1.7 million. Okay, any questions?
Do board members have questions or comments? Mr. Messer.
Thank you for that informative presentation. And being the rookie, I'm just going to shamelessly ask my question. So 51.63 million transferred to charter schools, and then I look back at the number of enrollees, so that is 6,897.
Yes.
So we're transferring $7,481-ish per student.
Yes, we are.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Ms. Bolton.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate this, and I really appreciate the work. And as we approach the budget effort by our superintendent and our treasurer and everyone, sometimes these are not simple tasks, but there are some simple answers. And doing this, and I know people have wanted to do it and tried to do it and thought about doing it, and trying to do it within the existing structure that we had did not work. But adding one person makes it possible for this kind of savings, plus challenging the charter schools so that they know we're coming and we're checking, and that makes it so important regarding how reliable these numbers are. So, I mean, as we look at the budget and saved money or unspent money or rededicated money or repurposed money, sometimes there are simple answers. And so I applaud the administration for doing this, and I will say, thank goodness for the audit committee being so insistent about this over 2 years.
Thank you. Ms. Bates?
Yeah, and if we could save this kind of money inside of Cincinnati Public Schools, imagine if we were able to share this experience and this data with the other urban districts. And I know that Superintendent Mitchell meets with the leaders of those districts. Can you make that a point to share this with them? Because that's going to help all of us.
Absolutely. So the Urban 8 superintendents meet on a quarterly basis, and so I will definitely share this information. Thank you.
Ms. Bolton?
May I add to that, too, that this wouldn't be a bad idea as we talk about the OSBA conferences and what have you, or even for the Great City School folks. It wouldn't be bad to share it there, because this does represent where the public schools are in trying to save those monies and actually hold the charters accountable and ourselves accountable for who we have and who we don't have. So it might I'll take it to OSBA, as you can do as well, Member Bates, but I think right away, a great idea to have the superintendent share with the superintendents.
Thank you. This is a good example of CPS sort of taking the lead in challenging the charter schools in this manner. And speaking to Mr. Messer's question, and for the newest board members, this department has been providing much more information and data on this. And so I would urge you, whenever the next presentation comes to finance or to audit, and you will see that notice, it might be helpful just to expose yourself more to the data and what we're doing as a district. Is that it? Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Okay, so I'm not sure who's doing this, Ms. Copeland Dansby or Ms. Bates presenting retirements? Do we have any retirements?
I usually present the
Okay, well, I
retirements.
did.
It's my thing.
She was sitting in this seat. I just transferred the power, the authority to the seat.
That's a Ms. Bates function.
All right, Ms. Bates.
I love to congratulate
That's
people.
right.
And I wholly endorse retirement, just so you all know. We have one retiree that we would like to honor this evening, and that's Mary Miners. She's one of our civil service personnel employees who's retiring March 1st. So this board would like to congratulate her and thank her for her service to our children.
Thank you. Are there any kudos? And for our newest board members, can you, Ms. Bolton, would you like to share kudos?
Well, I'm certainly going to give kudos to our newest members and our
Okay.
re-elected members. And also, I would like to send out a kudo and make a suggestion. This past weekend, Randy Smith, who is a board member from the Forest Hills District, has been installed as the president of OSBA. And it's been a while since we've had somebody from the Southwest region. Our own Catherine Ingram was president of the OSBA some years back, but I think we should probably, a recommendation to the president, should extend an invitation to President Smith to appear and share with us his views as to where the OSBA is going and what it looks like statewide. He is interested in coming and making a statement or presentation, but it's great. He's been a wonderful board member and very, very active in the federal relations network, advocating in DC.
Thank you. Any other kudos? I'd also like to take an opportunity to express our deepest sympathies to the family of DeAndre Parker. DeAndre's brother passed. I don't know, Mr. Timmons, do you okay. But I believe that Ms. Davis and Ms. Bruckner represented the board at his brother's funeral services. So our deepest sympathy goes to the family. Moving on, there's no one here to speak to the board, no hearing of the public. So we'll move on to the resolutions. Ms. Bolton, would you please present the resolution for board consideration?
I believe the first one that I have is a resolution to join the Ohio School Board Association. Whereas membership in the Ohio School Board Association provides the members of this Board of Education beneficial information and training on policy setting, decision-making, curriculum, legislative concerns, and many other relevant topics and issues. And whereas this information and training is important to well-informed board membership for the benefit of the district, I submit this resolution for our continued membership in OSBA.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Wagner, please call the roll.
Mrs. Bates?
Aye.
Ms. Bolton?
Aye.
Mr. Messer?
Aye.
Mr. Morosky?
Aye.
Mr. Timmons?
Aye.
Mrs. Dansby?
Aye.
President Jones?
Aye. Ms. Copeland Dansby, would you please present the resolution for board consideration?
Most certainly, I am presenting a resolution to join the Ohio School Boards Association Legal Assistance Fund, and I present it as written.
Is there a second?
Second?
Any discussion? Ms. Wagner, please call the roll.
Mrs. Bates?
Aye.
Ms. Bolton?
Aye.
Mr. Messer?
Aye.
Mr. Morosky?
Aye.
Mr. Timmons?
Aye.
President, Mrs. Copeland Dansby?
Yes.
Ms. Bolton, would you please present the resolution for board consideration?
Yes, my second resolution tonight is a resolution approving standing authorizations for the superintendent to be able to carry out the necessary district duties for calendar year 2018. I submit and hope for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Wagner, please call the roll.
Mrs. Bates?
Aye.
Ms. Bolton?
Aye.
Mr. Messer?
Aye.
Mr. Morosky?
Aye.
Mr. Timmons?
Aye.
Mrs. Copeland Dansby?
Aye.
President Jones?
Aye. Ms. Bates, would you please present the resolution for board consideration?
Yes, I have a resolution approving standing authorizations for the treasurer to be able to carry out necessary district duties for calendar year 2018. I present this resolution as printed for adoption.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Wagner, please call the roll.
Mrs. Bates?
Aye.
Ms. Bolton?
Aye.
Mr. Messer?
Aye.
Mr. Morosky?
Aye.
Mr. Timmons? Mrs. Copeland Dansby?
Aye.
President Jones?
Aye. Mr. Morosky, would you please present the resolution for board consideration?
Yes, I would be honored to present a resolution to support Public Education Week, January 21st to 27th, 2018, as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Wagner, please call the roll.
Mrs. Bates?
Aye.
Ms. Bolton?
Aye.
Mr. Messer?
Heck yeah. I mean, aye.
Mr. Morosky?
Aye.
Mr. Timmons?
Aye.
Mrs. Copeland Dansby?
Yes.
President Jones?
Aye. Ms. Bates, would you please present the resolution for board consideration?
Yes, I have a resolution to approve modified tax budget for the 2018-19 fiscal year. I present this resolution as printed for adoption.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Thank you, Mr. Messer. Any discussion? Ms. Wagner, please call the roll.
Aye.
Ms. Bolton?
Aye.
Mr. Messer?
Aye.
Mr. Morosky?
Aye.
Mr. Timmons?
Aye.
Mrs. Copeland Dansby?
Yes.
President Jones?
Aye. That's a heck of a lot of resolutions, but thank you. Superintendent Mitchell, do you have a report?
I do have a very short report. First of all, Happy New Year. It's hard to believe it's already 2018. Today we had a professional development release day for our teachers, and although there were really icy conditions, I think that our teachers really showed up in full force, and it just shows their dedication and professionalism. You may have noticed, especially new board members, that last week we had a couple of days in which we closed school. And so I think it's important for everyone to know that we always err on the side of best judgment and caution for our students. And sometimes we close due to snow, but sometimes we close due to cold. We have approximately 25,000 of our kids who either walk to school, and that can be up to a mile, or catch the bus. And sometimes they aren't always necessarily prepared to stand at a cold bus stop, and so that's the reason we close school. Just wanted to make sure that everyone is aware of that. In terms of speaking of equity within our schools, which is a major focus for the board, you'll be happy to know that we have 8 more Vision 2020 schools that are in the pipeline this year. They have submitted their proposal for their new program focus. So we have Vision 2020 1.0, 7 schools, 2.0, which launched this year, 9 schools, and an additional 8 schools for the upcoming school year next year. In addition, we're very excited to have the president of Harvard visiting with us on Thursday, and that person's actually going to go to Withrow High School.
Nice.
And then lastly, I'd just like to make everyone aware that this coming Friday night at the Taft High School game, there will be a special recognition ceremony in honoring of Chris Nelms, and that's at 7 p.m. And that's my report.
At the high school?
The game is at the high school, at Taft, yes.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Copeland Dansby.
So the celebration for Mr. Nelms, does the game start at 7 or does that start at 7?
The actual recognition starts at 7. I believe the game starts at 7:30.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
Good. It's something about that whistle in that gym that just drives me crazy. The other question I was going to ask, I lost my train of thought. Sorry. Oh, can you please tell me who are the 3.0 schools?
I knew you were going to ask that.
Oh, that's okay. We could get it another time. If you just send us all an email to let us know.
Absolutely, yes.
Because I like to
have
keep
them.
up with what schools like they are.
Okay, I can do
Thank
that.
you. No worries. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Mitchell. Do I have a motion to approve the revised recommendations of the superintendent?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Wagner, please call the roll.
Mrs. Bates?
Aye.
Ms. Bolton?
Aye.
Mr. Messer?
Aye.
Mr. Morosky?
Aye.
Mr. Timmons?
Aye.
Copeland Dansby?
Aye.
President Jones?
Aye. Do I have a motion to approve the revised report of the treasurer?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Wagner, please call the roll.
They took it out.
Sorry. Report of the treasurer. Are there, this was a roll call vote. Are there any inquiries or updates?
No, wait, she has to, yeah, we have to.
The revised recommendations of the superintendent, and then a motion to approve the revised report of the treasurer. We haven't had the report yet. That's where I was going.
It's right here.
That's what I'm asking for. Report of the treasurer.
So I don't do a verbal report, it's just a report
Okay.
that's submitted before you.
So we need a vote.
Entertain questions or
Any discussion, comments?
Can I ask a
Ms.
question?
Bolton, do you have any questions? Can I still do that?
No.
Darn.
Not allowed. We're gonna put you elsewhere.
I'm sorry.
For the first month or two, it'll be hard, I know. No, I don't have any questions, and I appreciate the administration reviewing something a little bit longer that was in the treasurer's report. And hopefully, in assignments, we can deal with that. I appreciate the removal.
Mr. Morosky?
Yeah, I just have a question, and it's probably for Jen, or anybody could answer it for me. So when I was reading the treasurer report, and this is more linguistic in nature, not numbers-wise, because I'm fine with all the numbers, I was curious if the use of the word handicap when it comes to the IDEA preschool grant, if that's something you can't get away from because it's federally mandated or not. Because I know the state of Ohio, it's kind of an issue that's just near and dear to me. I realize it's semantic, but I know the state of Ohio has moved away from it. Parking signs have moved away from it. So I was just curious if that was something we had authority over, or if we had to use the term as opposed to like children with disabilities.
So the title of the funds that you're referring to on, I think it's the second page.
587,
those
yeah.
are defined by the state and the USAS, the Uniform School Accounting System codes.
Okay,
So,
that's, we don't have overview.
We can look into whether we can use our own wording there, but several board meetings ago, one of our board members asked to provide the public with definitions of the funds. We used to just use the fund numbers. And so this is our way of trying to help people understand all the purpose of the funds. And so we just took it right out of the manual. Right.
And that's why I figured that's what it was. So would it be appropriate, since I am new, to ask during the assignment section to assign Ms. Wagner, somebody to look into that? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right on. Love it.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the revised report of the treasurer?
You have a motion and a second.
Okay. Roll call, please. Ms. Wagner?
Mrs. Bates?
Aye.
Ms. Bolton?
Aye.
Mr. Messer?
Aye.
Mr. Morosky?
Aye.
Mr. Timmons?
Aye.
Copeland Dansby?
Aye.
President Jones?
Are there any inquiries or updates?
I mean, inquiry / update.
Mr. Morosky?
So the note that we got, the memo that we received about transferring $300 of my board stipend in the January 2018 to the Board of Education Trust Fund. I just wanted to be clear that everybody knew this was for the training I wanted to do in July, not the one in January. Because the one in, it's for the one on July 21st that OSBA is doing.
No. Would you like to explain the?
How about we ask our treasurer?
The treasurer to explain?
I'm sorry.
All right.
Annually, you authorize us to deduct from your board payments $300. It varies from year to year, but anyway, it helps to provide a fund for you to spend money on. Many times you use it for Christmas gifts for the board.
So I can use it at the,
administrators,
okay.
yeah, so
So I know the January one was on the document, and that's of course the board retreat, and I can't be in two places at once yet. So I just wanted to be sure. Okay.
That's gonna be my question. Okay.
Any additional inquiries, updates? Ms. Bates?
Yes, I wanted to bring you up to date on something that, on a meeting that was held in actually in facilities on Iowa Street, but at the request of, actually, we all know Miss Azura Atkins, don't we? The president of the Evanston Community Council, when we were visiting the Evanston Recreation Center during our meeting, because we travel to the different rec centers occasionally for our meetings. She wanted to make sure that the park board property in front of Walnut Hills High School was maintained for the safety of the neighborhood and for the children at Walnut Hills. And we come to find out that actually there's teachers at Walnut Hills and a group of students who've been working with the park board to establish trails and keep the natural integrity of the trails and use that as a lab for the school. So Bill Mooring and his department, and Daniel Betts, who is the director of the Cincinnati Recreation Commission, have offered to provide resources and assistance to the park board so we can help facilitate this project. So if any of you, maybe you want to wait until the weather's a little warmer, but there are trails there that are, you know, still, they're kind of rough, but that's the whole idea, to keep it in its natural state. Nice. But could possibly be connected to some of the trails that are around that neighborhood as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Is this the area that's in front of the school or on the side?
In front, and it was kind of a mess. I mean, it was just, you know, land that at some time there was a homeless camp there, and lots of litter, and the Walnut Hills, I think it was the environmental studies class that had the idea to turn it into kind of a preserve with trails. So we have the Evanston Community Council, Cincinnati Public Schools, the Park Board, and the Recreation Commission all collaborating, thanks to Bill Mooring. Where is he? Is he here?
There he is. Thank you, Bill. Thank you for the update. Any other update, Ms. Copeland?
I have an inquiry. And so it looks like or I guess I should ask, are we scheduled for a board retreat on January the 20th?
We are scheduled for board retreat on January 20th. Ms. Bolton and I met with Jillian Darwish, who is going to facilitate the meeting. We have an agenda planned, so all we need is bodies.
Well, it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Morosky is scheduled to go to Columbus for training. Oh, you'll be there? You're not going to go to the training? Okay. I will not be in attendance on the 20th.
Okay.
Do we want to wait until we can get the full board for a retreat?
We've been working, I don't know.
No.
Jillian's schedule factors into it.
Okay.
We've had this on our agenda for quite some time.
I'm not sure when did it get put on the agenda.
For months. Months.
It was on my calendar?
It was on, we sent out notices and everything. It's been on our calendar.
Okay, great.
Okay. So moving on, any other inquiry or update? Are there any assignments? I did hear at least one, I heard two. Ms. Bolton?
Yes, I would like the administration, and I believe they're already started this, to research the process by which the instructional material textbook can be adopted by a school board. And that would be, I know we've worked in it in policy, we've worked in it in student achievement, and tonight we were in preparation to adopt a textbook this evening, and I just want to make sure that we're doing it according to the Ohio Revised Code.
Okay. Thank you.
And a second one to investigate or research our ability to have a four-member committee. Four-member committee.
This came from the organizational meeting where we wanted to have that four meeting. Yeah.
Verify that that's possible, or what that may mean.
Okay. And then you also had one about inviting Randy Smith.
Yeah, I'm going to assign that to my president.
Sure, why not?
To invite Randy Smith.
Okay.
President of OSBA.
Okay.
To what?
To see when he might be able to appear at a board business meeting, so that he can also share with the public what OSBA does and what have you.
Like a presentation.
Yep. Okay, and then there was another assignment, I think, Ms. Copeland Dansby, you were asking for update on what the Vision 3,
Oh, yeah.
3.0 version? which
A
we
list,
don't-
a list
nobody-
of schools
Okay.
in Vision 2020 3.0.
Okay. Any
Yeah.
other assignments?
I had one for
Mr.
the administration to
Rock.
investigate whether or not we could affect the language of the IDEA preschool grant for kids with disabilities, or if we were beholden to the state's language for those dollars, and any other dollars where the word handicap might be attached to it.
Thank you. Any other assignments?
No, but I do have an inquiry that I didn't ask before.
Yes.
If it's okay to go back. When is the cow for January?
We don't have a cow, do we?
We don't have another business meeting until 22nd?
22nd.
Okay.
Yep.
Why?
Because we have the retreat on the 20th.
It's a business meeting?
Yes, it's a
The
regular
retreat
meeting.
is a business meeting?
The retreat is scheduled, it's noticed as a business meeting, a regular meeting, right? Ms. Davis?
Special
Okay.
public or whatever.
Special public or,
It says business meeting.
okay.
I just want to urge and encourage the administration, if there's business, that you can handle it on that 20th, so you don't have to wait another month or another week before you can get business done. That's always my concern.
I think we planned around that. So we were not anticipating having any business on that day. But I'm not clear as to whether or not we had a conversation with administration about that.
Something
So-
might come up. I'm just
Okay.
urging you to just make
Okay.
sure you keep it in front of people.
All right. Having no other business to come before the board, I declare the meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you for your patience.
Board members, don't leave, I need your signatures.
Asking to research the, I guess, the legal
Dan was gonna do
ramifications.
that.
Okay.
So what are we doing with the committee in the interim? Nothing, right?
We don't have anything to do with